Welcome back to the show. Technically, welcome to this show, but welcome back to the show in reality. 15 times, device completely stopped responding at one point or another. Game crashed like 10, 15 times. It became quite a bit of an annoyance. Sorry. I can't even clear my voice right there right now. Even worse. So it's day 4 / stage 4 of this event. I can't even get to. Yeah, stage 4. Totally almost forgot what I was gonna say and what I was doing, but zoned out for a bit. Oh, nice. At least I have the Asterion to be able to compete in this stage of the event. Makes me wonder if I should even bother maxing this out right now. Just due to the fact that I know I'm probably not even gonna beat the race. Or the time required. That's cool. Unlock the XL Sport concept with that one blueprint, so that's kind of dope. Completely one of the ugliest cars I've ever seen. By far, sorry, not completely, but by far one of the ugliest cars I've ever seen. You know what? I'm gonna try that event, their new season. Since I just unlocked the car. And as I stated, all these cars and everything in this game were created like over 10 to 15 years ago, so it makes sense on why they tried doing like the retro throwback / futuristic type style for it. We're all just living in different lucid dream states for different companies that are just trying to violate people's rights and trying to maintain a dominance over them. So no, sorry. If you keep dropping into like just you just go AFK and like don't do anything in match, or whenever I do invite you and you don't like respond in the game and whatnot, or you just go AFK after like less than one match, then I am gonna eventually have to ban you. I'll be playing some PUBG in like half an hour though, but I figured I should state that message as like the way that I start. But yeah, most of these companies are companies developed like over 10 to 15 years, or not companies, but most of these vehicles, and actually these are full-fledged companies that release these vehicles. So I mean, none of these games are new. They're all just games based off of the sole reality of, oh, I got more money than you, so I'll set this up to make it seem like it was made in these years, but, or I mean in the future from now, but in reality it was made like 20, 30 years ago, where we're all just in line as to when we're allowed to release it to you and your group in order to not get prosecuted for the crimes that for the crimes that technically are going to be implied or put out there by that point. Sorry, I had to deal with that. But that's technically how it goes. I just don't lie to myself, so I know when this stuff's real. Good example of like this stuff is if you watch the music video for 5 Seconds of for Young Blood from 5 Seconds of Summer. If you watch the music video for 5 Seconds of Summer from Young Blood. If you watch the music video for Young Blood from 5 Seconds of Summer. That song was also created like 10 to 15 years ago. If you look up online the court case of Ozzy Osbourne getting sued by some people because he stated that in order to be famous you have to commit suicide. I was going to do a whole YouTube series on this, but I have to get a slightly higher NPC in order to do this series, in order to like really get my name heard. But like I'll point out all the realities behind it and all the other different secret societies based off of making people famous just for committing suicide, with facts and with details and with other with like solidified, like the only way of putting it simply is the only proof you'll find, or the only possible way of finding proof for this. But I mean, this isn't something new. So I mean, just so you guys don't get stuck wondering all the time, I mean, most of these criminals commit crimes and expect to like not be seen as like criminals and whatnot. So as them being executed as other people, I mean, in another one actually based off of the suicide that you commit. So whether you're executed by like the state and whatnot, and they consider it you killing yourself due to your crimes, at that point it's considered a suicide. That's one of the methods also to commit suicide. Another few other methods would be just suicide, like every different type of suicide. I mean, that's considered a type of suicide. So I mean, it's every different type of suicide. The one with the courts executing you, there isn't many out there, but I mean, there's a few people that point out exactly how they figured out how they became famous off of their suicide, and they just put it into music videos and things of that nature, because it's stuff that you really can't speak of. So as their like workaround to this issue, they tend to they're like, all right, so I'm not technically speaking of it, but verbal language opposed to body language, or opposed to like displaying it in a work of art, is like a different form of language that they claim that you can't really talk about. But I mean, it's easier to display because they can't grasp the true meaning. So at that point, you can get your message across a lot easier. So I mean, there's a lot of people that go off of this stuff. So there's a lot of famous people that became famous off of committing suicide and whatnot. There's a lot of shows based off of a lot of people becoming famous, or the show becoming famous because they committed suicide. It's just based off of what technology your society has to keep them alive and to revive them. So that's just basically what it is. I mean, religions are based off of people that committed suicide or got executed and were revived by people like me. So, or were revived by me, or like, or I wouldn't know if it were just like people like me or just me, or if like my brain automatically just like went into the autonomous section and just like completely dealt like pity and revived these people. But it's just things of that nature. I don't think I'll win the race, to be honest. Even if I max out the vehicle, I highly doubt I'll win it. And my apologies for the comment that I made earlier to that person, to that viewer, but they usually tend to drop in just to like be annoying or to like request something, and then when I get in game with them, or when we are in game, they tend to like drop out within like less than 5 minutes. I don't know if it's their connection or if they're just using it to like to establish time, to establish like, oh, I annoyed him this day, and I annoyed him this day, and I annoyed him this day, and I talked to him this day, but it was just to annoy him. Right, I was just not trying to say that, I was trying to annoy him. It's technically what they're doing. And I think I'm just annoyed because my allergies hit, and I'm just kind of really not dealing with too much good stuff today. I already dealt with too many headaches for this to be like the start of any day. It's just kind of disgusting. I've been dealing with identity theft too often that enemies have been taking my identity and claiming to be me, and then they just alter an image to where it does like a morph of my face and like whatever features they're trying to like deprive me of. Then they try claiming that it's other people and whatnot. So I mean, I'm just dealing with too much. To be honest, I'm just done with it. I'm not gonna get a 9 to 5 in this country. Even if I get paid under the table, it's just not even worth it anymore. They take from me like everything that I have. There's no way for me to actually create a business of my own. So it's just like kind of annoying. I'm just over it. This country's just violated my rights way too much. Like, they can't expect anything from me. I mean, they already plagiarized me for everything that was me. So I mean, it's just like, why am I even being harassed anymore? Why don't I just get paid? Why? I mean, if I'm not getting paid, why am I being harassed? I'm just like at my wit's end. Ready to go on a killing spree, but I don't have a gun yet, so that's like impossible. And I really don't write out lists. Just keep it all in your head, and even then, that's not even worth it. It's not like those pedophiles known as local law enforcement or anything other than people on that list, because they're all a bunch of pedophiles just roaming around in my house claiming to be like, oh, well, he can't even see us because of his technology being used to cover up our identities and to cover up our like figures, so he can't, his optical receptors can't even pick it up. The brain waves, or the waves from his eyes to his brain, aren't even being processed. Like, as long as we cut out that segment from his eyes being able to process it, he won't ever be able to see us roaming around in his house committing the crimes that are always being committed anyways. And what else that he's not going to be able to pinpoint us with, because court's not going to listen to him. Well, I mean, judges. Judges aren't real. It's all just like your brother's brother or something. or your sister's brother, or whoever your wife is sleeping with. All right. So one thing I noticed in Asphalt 8 that I never really, since I wasn't able to stream back then, or since I didn't stream back then, is if you go against the turn, like let's say it's a left hand turn, if you drift right to the right hand side, you gain boost faster. You'll gain boost like 2 to 3 times as fast. It's probably like 3 times faster, to be honest. I'd say double time, but it's really like almost 3 times faster. So I mean, it's just shocking, but it's just crazy. I don't even remember what event I noticed it in, but I remember like I'm trying to remember the map. It's the one without jumps. Sorry, I'm trying to remember the name of the map. It was reverse on the place without jumps. I'm trying to remember the name, but I can't recall the name for some reason. But I noticed by going reverse, or not reverse, but going the opposite way and drifting, like I just like looked up at one point and I was like, whoa, I'm gaining like boost 3 to 4 times faster is what it seemed like, but it was really like 2 to 3 times faster. Man, I don't even think I'll beat that breakpoint. I think it was 28 seconds. Yep. Allergies are kicking in. Nose is dripping. Whatever. That was at least one honest attempt at that. So I'm going to probably keep going. Gonna get my 3 multiplayer races done and then claim a card pack. Actually, never mind. Get 3 multiplayer races done and then maybe I was gonna say upgrade a vehicle, but I don't know if that'll make a difference. Sorry. So I'm running a stock XL Sport concept while the other people are probably running boosted vehicles or upgraded vehicles, and they're going to try to claim something in my dream states and whatnot, or astral projections, or whatever they try to break into me to, or whatever they're breaking it into me through, or however they're claiming to be me through. That's what it was, or however they're claiming to be me through. And believe me, even if you stand your ground, if they're committing more crime than you and they have politicians on their side, it's almost impossible to beat them in court and just like in anything. So I mean, that means keep trying, but don't not so much just don't what's it called? Just don't deal with them. Just make sure you always have a gun and just shoot them instead. Or be ready to kill them in court if that's what it takes. At that point, their courts are fake, illegal, and just go to sleep that night or something, knowing that everything will eventually be cleared up. Just run it like Christian Bale and just run it like Christian Bale. Just run it like Patrick. Actually, what was his name? Just run it like American Psycho. Just make sure you have a lawyer every time you go to sleep. I forget his character's name for that movie. Oh wait, never mind. I'm not running stock. I went max. I topped out my speed. Single star though. I didn't max out the acceleration like I wanted to. That's what I forgot to do. Out of 1,000+ people that they have racing at any given during any given race, I don't see how they don't have a better algorithm to pick a more balanced match. It's like you have to pay in order to get this boost on everyone. Not even just know which vehicles are going to run faster. It's like you legitimately have to pay ahead of time or something. Dude, this vehicle looks like it was made back in the 80s. And they just tried rounding out some of the metal and whatnot and portions to try to make it look more up to date. More like our current era, I guess. I think it's considered, or they try to claim concurrent with the times, but that's just how they hide it off. But they try to make it look like they're more from our era or something. But I know I've heard them use like other terms and phrases to try to hide it off. But I mean, that's how you guys can eventually find out that they're just committing a bunch of crimes against you and your people. So the technology that I reverse engineered led to me creating engines just off of simple 3-ton drums that basically generate over like 10 to 20,000 horsepower off of less than one spinning of this drum. So I mean, and this is like just running your engine with like lubes. I say like 3-ton drums because in reality it's like only like 1,000 pounds for an engine, and then it's based off of how I do it, and based off of the electromagnetic launches that I run. I could generate 10 to 15,000 horsepower off of one single spinning of this drum, and I don't mean a full cycle, but I mean just off the initial spin. So I mean, this is all just electromagnetics and whatnot, but this is technically why the government wanted to shut me out and try to close me out. But I mean, I'm not creating anything catastrophic. I just created military self-defense systems that I was trying to sell to the military. I just created self-defense systems that I was trying to sell to the military, but we all know that doesn't go well ever. I get plagiarized way too often, to be quite honest. And Nothing good, or nothing at a good rate at least. So I'll try this one more time with the C-Class car. I usually fail at this. Import parts, let alone credits on import parts, just yet on some of these vehicles. Since I figure import parts were the addition that they made to these games nowadays in order to bring them up to date with the future. So I mean, I kind of don't think that these jokes are funny, so I just kind of don't run it. Oh man, I boosted a little too soon and I messed that one up. Sorry, my allergies are like completely flaring up my nose. Oh man, it's funny. It's like my in-game icon, or like my icon was made for this name. A popsicle, an ice cream or ice-based popsicle. So it's cool to symbolize cool, and it's wearing sunglasses, almost like sunglasses I would have liked to have worn when I was little, or if I were born in like the early '80s. That would have come back to this show. So my stream crashed and the game kind of almost crashed because I turned off the Wi-Fi, or the not Wi-Fi, turned off the 3G 4G LTE data. Now, as I was saying, and me frowning, almost how I always used to frown when I was little. So I mean, to symbolize that, that's a kid. To the cool kids. And then the hash mark in the back, like the backdrop, that like paint spray, to symbolize that this is the cool kids. So I mean, that's just kind of how it works. So yeah, it's kind of cool. It's like it was made for me. Either way, I'm going to take a quick like 10-15 minute break, probably 20-minute break to clear my nose, blow my nose, and then I'm going to be back on stream with some some PUBG Mobile. So hope you guys enjoyed, since you're not really supposed to enjoy any time spent away from me, and that's that. So I'll talk to you guys in a bit.